proclaim liberty throughout the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. That's from Leviticus 25:10. That quote was from one of the oldest books of the Bible, is engraved on the Liberty Bell. The Founding Fathers knew very well that liberty was a natural right given by God, and that is what the proclamation and the Declaration of Independence 233 years ago was about, and that's what the founders attempted to enshrine in the Constitution. I am Ben Brandon. I'm the immediate past chairman of the Dade County Commission, the county executive down there. I am a conservative Christian. I'm a strict constitutionalist. I am, by full disclosure, I'm a member of the Republican Party, although they don't agree with me a lot of the time. I don't agree with them most of the time. And I'm a libertarian at heart. I still hold the distinction of being the only person in the history of Georgia to ever be elected in a partisan race as a libertarian in little old Dade County, Georgia, just south of you down here. You know, I came down to the, thank you. I came to the last Tea Party and I saw signs like we see today where people are saying, well, you know, the government's too big and the spending is too high, and it is. We see signs that say that taxes are too high, and they are. But I think we're missing the real point, because both of those things are simply symptoms of the real problem. And the real problem is that our elected officials that we've been sending to Washington for quite a long time now have quit observing the Constitution. They just don't observe it anymore. You know, the Founding Fathers were really very astute when they knew that there'd be abuses. When you give a lot of people power, they knew that they would abuse that power, so they were very astute, and they managed to put all of the authority the federal government was supposed to have in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. And in Article 1, Section 8, there were 17 things, and only 17 things, that the federal government was supposed to be allowed to do. And I've got it here, and I'm not going to read it, but basically it was borrowing money, setting up the Army and the Navy, and controlling immigration, and taking care of the court system. But it was very specific, and the federal government was only allowed to do those 17 things. Now, how has that worked out for us, as Dr. Field would say, over the last few years? And I'm just going to go back and mention some of the things that's happened in my lifetime, and just see how that fits with the things that are in the enumerated powers of the Constitution in Article 1, Section 8. Let's start with the Johnson administration back in the 60s when I was in high school, and when the Great Society programs came out, and Medicare and Medicaid and all the entitlement programs, the welfare programs that were supposed to help out and make people richer instead of poorer. Now, where would you look and find those things, the ability to do those things in the Constitution? It's not in there. It's not in there anywhere. Well, let's move forward and talk about the Department of Education. In the 70s, Jimmy Carter, to give thanks to the teachers unions for electing him, set up the Department of Education, and since he set that up, education has gotten a little bit worse every year with the federal government involved.